This may be hard to hear and hard to accept, but even for me, we need to forgive them, whoever they are. For me, and for a lot of you, it's parental, it's familial. And when I say forgive, I don't mean forget, of course. However, a lot of us have been through what we would call a lot of trauma, right? A lot of pain as kids, however that looks, spiritually, emotionally, physically, a wide range, all of the above. And a lot of times when people say forgive, they try to it feels like I'm discrediting the pain or just saying, oh, no, don't worry about it. In a way, I don't want to say don't worry about it, but from after you've done the healing work, then I feel like a lot of us have done the healing work and done what you needed to do to work through, journal, shadow work, separate yourself, like even the realistic practical things like separate yourself from family, and you feel like you're in a good spot now as an adult. Honestly, you know you're much better than you used to be. And I'm not saying it's above me now, but honestly, don't worry about it because now moving forward, it's none of your concern. And when you really come from a place of forgiving them because they didn't, and I'm not sure if I'm using this quote the way it should be said, but forgive them for they don't know what they do. And a more realistic, practical way to think about that is they didn't know. And it's like, well, your parents didn't know. And yeah, you're right. And they should have learned. And yeah, you're right. But if we're looking bigger about how our soul kind of comes and has these lessons to learn and all this karma to work through, if you believe in that, and how it was all for our growth and understanding of who we are and getting closer to ourselves, you will realize that it was all necessary, that they didn't know what they were doing. And they don't seem to try to want to know what they're doing. But I don't want us to hold on so much to the pain we felt as a child and continue to hold on to it throughout our adulthood, because that's not going to do you any good. But I also want you to remember, I do want you to remember, because you see how far you've come, and then just see how much you are now the person that you needed. And guess what? Now you could be who you needed for somebody who needs you right now. And I think that's what I was kind of talking about for like your soul growth. Like you don't really know exactly what your mission or whose lives you're supposed to change and who you're supposed to help, and like what other youth right now that your testimony is helping, that you can avoid them going through the same things just because you have a story, just because you can interact with them. And now you can be the person that keeps them from going through the same cycle. Maybe that's why you're here. I just saw 333 on my timer, which is what? Growth and expansion, right? I think. And so when I say forgive, there's a lot of work that comes with that. And I don't want it to sound like, oh yeah, just forgive and forget and now just kumbaya around the fire with your family, like, or whoever. Like, no, do what you got to do. But now it should, I'm not going to say it should be irrelevant either, but it shouldn't hold as much weight as you move forward, because you've done what you needed to do and you have more things to accomplish, and holding on to the pain and the anger will be holding you back. And I don't want us to be held back. So for your own greatest good and for everybody who you're meant to influence and touch and heal, forgive those who did not know any better. And don't even keep harping on the fact, like, why won't you learn? Why won't you learn? They won't learn because that's not what they're here to do. They weren't here to learn. They were here to bring you to this world. And it's like, dang, that's not fair. You know, I can agree with that. It feels unfair. Until you truly, truly come to the healed space and see things from a higher perspective. And it just takes, and it might take more than one time, you know, cycles of healing and forgiveness. And I can't say I'm all the way there yet, but I think I'm in a time of purging and releasing yet again. As you can hear it in my voice, I'm sick, been coughing, and going on. And so what they say is eclipse season. I don't know what they say. I'm not too into it, but I know I feel the energies naturally without even knowing really what's going on in the cosmos. But yeah, I just feel like there's just been a lot of releasing happening, even down to my face. I'm the type of person I try to watch my diet. That's not what this is about, but like just noticing how I feel like things want to be released from my body and physically and whatnot, and then just connections and relationships coming back up for me to like speak my truth and really just set my boundaries and my standards. Like you can do all those things while also still being in the space of forgiveness. And love doesn't look like I welcome you in with open arms. It's love for yourself. So anyways, I think I'm rambling now. I just wanted to get that out because it just hit me. And I think somebody else needed to hear. Not me burping. Okay, time to get off.